The first $100,000 is the toughest to accumulate, according to Charlie Munger, a well-known billionaire investor and vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. But it's not just him. This is a common belief among those who have increased their fortune, and similar statements are frequently spoken about reaching the first million. Why is that so? What is it about the laws of making a fortune that has eluded us for so long? And how can we apply it to make sure we never get broke again? Join us as we discuss the Charlie Munger rules on why the first $100,000 is the toughest to make.
But of course, when people use the word common sense, what they mean is uncommon sense, because the standard human condition is ignorance and stupidity. And so when they say old Joe has common sense, what they mean is he has uncommon sense.
Truth be told, as soon as you hit $100,000, the following one usually follows considerably more swiftly. It doesn't take long until you have $200,000, $300,000, and $400,000. After you reach the $1 million milestone, the next one is just around the corner and seems to go by much faster. This gives those of us who feel wealth is increasing more slowly when they would like some comfort. But why does it get simpler exactly? Let's talk about some topics and see why it takes a disproportionately long time to reach the $100,000 threshold. This process can be accelerated so that you reach financial success years sooner. So, if you want to improve your financial future, be sure to hit the like button if this video was useful and subscribe to our channel. The process of actually starting to invest is one challenge that many people encounter. Investing frequently gets put on the back burner since it appears to be a low priority. Before you know it, you're mulling over your retirement plans and scratching your head. How many individuals do you know who would begin investing if they had more capital? They'll start investing once they start to earn more money. Declaring investment when you have more cash is akin to saying you'll add wood to a fire as soon as it begins to burn. You invest because you want more money, not because you have too much of it. Another justification is risk. As is the case with many things in life, the majority of us have friends or co-workers that avoid investing totally because they believe it to be too hazardous. Always remember that the toughest step to take is the first one. It's simple to put off doing something until later. You must perform the heavy lifting to reach the first $100,000, which means you must personally provide the majority of the funds. Once you have a sizable portfolio, compound interest starts to do its magic. The returns in dollars grow significantly, even when the returns as a percentage don't always rise. For instance, if an investment of $5,000 yields a 10% return after a year, the difference is only $500 and hardly perceptible. When seen in this light, $500 can appear inconsequential because it could easily be earned by occasionally putting in a few more hours of work. $10,000, 10% of a $100,000 investment, is an excellent place to start when trying to replace your wage. But if it's $1 million, an annual return of 10% takes you over the hurdle of $100,000. That's because it's a substantial sum that many people earn significantly more than that at their work, and it's fantastic to see this enormous rise. People claim that when their portfolio reaches a value of $100,000, that's when they notice the growth of their investments. Call it the snowball rule. Think of a snowball rolling downhill. You see the speed at which the snowball expands and accelerates after it starts to move. It's the fact that it's moving that makes it bigger. And because it is bigger, what happens? It moves faster.
You know, the economy sometimes booms and sometimes it doesn't. And you have to live your life through both episodes. And our attitude is we just keep swimming, and sometimes the tide is with us and sometimes against. But we keep swimming either way.
The progress is incredibly fulfilling as your portfolio increases, and the enthusiasm might hasten the process. In other words, because the incentives are so great, you'll start looking for ways to expand your portfolio and boost your income. You'll consider your options before spending $100 and a couple of hours at a fancy restaurant. You will think more carefully about your purchases once you are aware of how powerful compound interest is. This is because it will be more difficult for you to part with that money once you realize how much it will grow and continue to reward if it is invested. For instance, if you spend $100 on that fancy dinner, that money is lost forever. If you had invested that money, it might have returned you $10 in its first year, $11 in its second year, and $12 in its third year. $100 is not really a lot, but the practice of consistently setting aside $100 in several categories will yield more over time. More possibilities are available to you as your money increases, and this will become increasingly clear. There are numerous things you can do when you have $100,000 saved up that someone living paycheck to paycheck cannot. You have the savings to take the risk if you have the chance to go to another position with the possibility of a greater salary or more room for advancement. Even though your employment can earn $50,000 a year, a chance presents itself. It will probably pay $100,000 or more a year, but it will only be a commission. Taking this kind of risk isn't viable if you depend on that $50,000 wage.
Expansion has lasted.
Of course, it's lasted a long time. But what was really remarkable is that we never printed money so much and spent it so fast and bought back so much debt, public and private.
Perhaps you've already wanted to start a business but never had the resources. The new venture could bring in millions of dollars for you. But if you can't start, it's a missed chance. Perhaps a fantastic chance arises. For instance, in real estate, you could buy a house for far less than its market value, but doing so carries a significant risk. If you have money saved up, it can be worthwhile to take this risk. Even while selling your investments isn't always a good decision, you at least have the choice if the situation calls for it or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity comes up. A person's options are significantly more constrained if they only have a small amount of money saved. In addition to being able to seize more opportunities when you have more money, you may also invest at a higher level of risk. When you have additional cash and it won't bankrupt you, it's simple to be more speculative when you sense potential in a stock. The good news is that you probably still have other assets if that one doesn't work out. You might be given the chance to invest in a new endeavor by a buddy, and you won't go bankrupt if it doesn't work out. The choice to invest in something like this is not available to someone with limited savings. It's important to know that there are numerous methods to expedite the process if you're working toward the $100,000 goal. You need to concentrate on raising the amount you're saving because the majority of these funds will be nominally donated. The ideal option for you to speed up the procedure will be to do this. You must raise your salary if you want to regularly save more money. This could be done either with a second job on the weekends or a few nights a week, and the extra money earned may be put straight into savings. Start thinking about launching a side business that could earn you some extra money. Spending on needless products should be avoided. Rethink the fancy dinner. Don't buy what you don't need because you have a goal in mind now.
But it worked. And I don't think they had much else that would work. They weren't set up to do stimulus. Too much controversy, democratic inertias, various kinds. So they had to do something. And all they had left was just to print money and start buying things.
Just keep in mind that this is just a temporary measure until you attain your objective. After that, you can start to relax a little. Avoid making huge automobile payments on vehicles that are simply unnecessary, as these costs are frequently the cause of people's failure to achieve the $100,000 mark. It will be simpler to just keep doing what you're doing after you get used to the saving and investing procedure. By the time you have a substantial sum of money, you'll grow accustomed to pursuing opportunities to increase your income and invest the extra cash. You'll also get used to making more thoughtful decisions about your purchases, such as whether they are required or whether it would be better to put the money into savings. Additionally, you'll be at ease when taking risks as you invest through various market cycles, and you might even learn how to fully capitalize on them. You can start to let off the throttle once you pass the $100,000 milestone. Charlie Munger asserts that even if the first million is the next milestone, it gets simpler because the majority of your investments are probably going to be the consequence of compound interest rather than actual cash. You need to work hard on your own. The next time you're worried about how difficult it is to increase your net worth, remember that it gets easier, more fun, and more rewarding over time. There you have it. Thanks for watching this video. If you've learned something, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing content. Bye for now.